So welcome you all for the one online classes. We are discussing the chapter thermal properties of matter. In this thermal properties of matter, yesterday we have seen thermal expansion. So thermal expansion of solids. Thermal expansion of solids is of three types. They are linear expansion, areal expansion, and volume expansion. Linear expansion coefficient is alpha, areal expansion coefficient is beta, and volume expansion coefficient is gamma. Yesterday we have seen the relation between alpha, beta, gamma. Alpha is to beta is to gamma value is 1 is to 2 is to 3. Okay. So today we will discuss some more points based on this thermal expansion of solids only. So let us see here. If I consider some points, I will consider under node. So I will consider one hollow cylinder, and I will consider one solid cylinder. So difference you know that now. Hollow means inside will be empty, whereas the solid is there means so inside also material will be there. This is also made up of material. Let us suppose both are of same length. So dimensions are same. When both rises to same increase in the temperature, both are rises to same increase in the temperature. When increase in the temperature is same, so in this case what happens? Linear expansion is same for both. The increase in the length, initially both are of same length. Whenever the temperature rise in temperature is same, so then that time what happens? That linear expansion, increase in the final length also will be of same. So this is what whenever so increase in the temperature is same, but whenever so both are heated, both same amount of heat supplied to them. When heat supplied to them both same, so then that time linear expansion of hollow cylinder will be more compared with the linear expansion of solid cylinder. Here 2 points you have to remember, whether temperature is same or whether heat is same. So temperature same or heat same. So when both temperatures are raised by same extent, linear expansion of both will be same. When both are supplied same heat, though heat supplied is same, so but rising temperature of both will not be same. One material will utilize more heat, other material may utilize less heat. Okay, so that time hollow cylinder expansion will be more compared with the solid cylinder. So even you can take one more example also, one thinner rod and thicker rod. Let me consider one thin rod and let me consider one thick rod. So this is one thin rod and this is one thick rod. Let us suppose both are initially of same length. I will consider the length of initially both the rods are same. So when both the temperatures of both will be raised by same extent, whenever temperature is same, that time what happens? Linear expansion or increase in the length of both this thinner rod and thicker rod will be same. When for both heat supplied is same amount of heat supplied, that time linear expansion is not same. So linear expansion more for a thinner rod compared with a thicker rod. Are you getting it? So linear expansion, so whether same or not, so you should decide whether temperature rise is same or whether heat supplied is same. So points clear? Okay, this is one of the important points you need to remember. Still some more points we require for doing numericals of this chapter. We will go through that points in this class. So what are the points? And these all are very important. What are the points we are discussing? Actually, what are the synopses we will discuss for object 2? That synopsis can be also directly asked as a question. So you are in CET or NEET level. But directly that synopsis only can be also asked as a question. So each and every synopsis you need to consider as one object. Okay, now one objective. So let us see today. So I will consider under node first point. So in this first point, let me consider two rods are there. Two rods of initial length value L1 and L2. So what is their length initially? L1 and L2. Such that both are made up of different materials of coefficient of linear expansion alpha 1 and alpha 2. Such that if they are increasing the length for all temperature difference is same. What does it mean? For the same rise in temperature, if their linear expansions are same. Linear expansion of first rod delta L1 formula. So L1 into alpha into, can I write delta T? Yesterday we written in place of delta T, T2 minus T1. Where T2 minus T1 I will call it as, so delta T. Then increase in the length of the second rod given by L2 into alpha 1 here, alpha 2 into delta T. So both the rods temperature rise is same. And for example, if the rods have same linear expansion same means delta L1 value is equal to delta L2. Delta L1 value L1 into alpha 1 into delta T will be equal to L2 into alpha 2 into delta T. Delta T cancel. What can I write? L1 into alpha 1 is equal to L2 into alpha 2. When we can write this condition? We can write this condition whenever two rods of different length and different coefficient of linear expansion having same increase in their final length or having same linear expansion for the same rise in temperature. That time the condition given by L1 into alpha 1 value is equal to L2 into alpha 2. From this alpha 1 divided by alpha 2 value will be equal to, so L2 divided by L1. Okay na? Point clear? So this is first one. Next second point. Let me consider again two rods are there. So first rod, second rod. First rod length is L1. Second rod length is L2. First rod length is L1 at a temperature T1 degrees Celsius. Second rod length is L2 at a temperature T2 degrees Celsius. Let us suppose initially L1 is equal to L2. First rod coefficient of linear expansion alpha 1. Second rod coefficient of linear expansion alpha 2. So L1 is equal to L2 means two rods of, so different linear expansions, coefficient of linear expansions at different temperatures having same initial length. Their initial length is same. Now I want to calculate what is the common temperature at which their final length also same. So what happens? Temperature of both the rods are increases to T degrees Celsius. T is the common temperature again at which the final length of both the rods are same. So at a temperature T, what is the final length of first rod? Can I call L1 dash? L1 dash is equal to L1 into 1 plus alpha 1 into, so T minus T1. Can I write that? Yesterday we are seeing what is the formula for final length? L2 is equal to L1 into 1 plus alpha into T2 minus T1. Correct? Then what I will get? This is the final length of the first rod. What is the final length of the second rod given by L2 dash value is equal to L2 into 1 plus alpha 2 into T minus T2. Here the condition is their final length also should be same. L1 dash is equal to L2 dash. So L1 value is equal to L2 value is equal to, can I call L? Initially both having the same length. Then what I get? L into, so 1 plus alpha 1 into T minus T1 is equal to how much? L into 1 plus alpha 2 into T minus T. To simplify this, you will get the answer for T given by, so alpha 1 into T1 minus alpha 2 into T2 divided by, so alpha 1 minus alpha 2. So this is the formula for final temperature, the common temperature at which the final length of both the rods are again same. Instead of T1 and T2, if they given T1 is equal to theta 1 degrees Celsius and T2 is equal to theta 2 degrees Celsius, that time what can I write the formula for T is equal to alpha 1 into theta 1 minus alpha 2 into theta 2 divided by alpha 1 minus alpha. So this is the common temperature at which again they are having their final length values also same. Point clear now? So this is the second point, and this formula is very very important. No need to derive this formula every time. When you can remember this formula, that whenever two rods having initial length same at two different temperatures, the common temperature at which the final length of the two rods are same is given by this formula. Question clear now? So, okay, this is the second point. Next, third one. So let us discuss the third point. Till now we are considering, so coefficient of linear expansion is constant. For example, if alpha is variable of distance, alpha is variable of distance. What does it mean? With the distance alpha value vary such that alpha given it as alpha is equal to ax plus b. Alpha is equal to ax plus b, where a and b are constant. Alpha value changing with the distance. Let me consider one rod. So rod having the length value L, whose coefficient of linear expansion is not constant. Whose coefficient of linear expansion changing with the distance by the equation alpha is equal to ax plus b. So whenever the temperature is raised by delta T, how can you calculate the expansion? Here let me consider one small element of length value dx. So what is the expansion of that element? Can I call delta E? Delta E is the expansion of that element. Delta E formula, delta E is equal to dx into, so alpha into delta T, rise in temperature. So dx alpha value ax plus b into dx into delta T. Okay now, if I want to calculate the total expansion value, how can I calculate? Where delta E is the expansion of the small element. So total expansion will be given by total linear expansion of the rod given by integration of delta E under limits of, so 0 to L. This element will be of this side or this side. So elemental length 0 to L into delta E. What I get? Integration 0 to L delta E value given by ax plus b into dx into delta E. So this is the formula to calculate the elongation of the total rod when the coefficient of linear expansion is, so variable with the distance. This is the formula. So sometimes coefficient of linear expansion also depends upon temperature. That is for coefficient of linear expansion, if it is depends upon temperature. So under this third only, I will consider the second point. This is the first point. Under this second point, if alpha is variable with the temperature, so that time what I will get? That is alpha is a function of temperature. Can I write f of t? When alpha is a function of f of t, then that time the total elongation is given by the formula total elongation or total expansion. The total expansion is given by integration of, so temperature is rising from T1 to T2. Alpha value is f of t into dx into delta, where dx is the element, length of the small element, and delta t is the rise in temperature. So in this way we can calculate the total expansion whenever alpha is a function of which one? Alpha is a function of temperature. See the difference between these two. There alpha is a function of temperature. Here alpha is a function of which one? Distance. Whenever alpha is a function of distance or temperature, these are the general methods we will apply to calculate a total expansion. Are you getting now? So these 2 points are when alpha variable, how to calculate total expansion. So this is point number 3. After completion of this, so next point. So everyone know regarding the simple pendulum. Simple pendulum know that now? Now we'll see how does the time period of a simple pendulum changes with the temperature. So fourth point. In case of the simple pendulum. So simple pendulum. What simple pendulum consists of? One metal wire and a bob. Metal wire is suspended from the rigid support, or bob is suspended by the metal wire with the help of metal wire from a rigid support. Generally now this is a solid. Whenever temperature increases, so that time there is a chance is there for this metal wire to expand. What is the formula for time period of a simple pendulum? T is equal to 2 pi into root over L by G. Correct? So you will get in oscillation chapter. Time period of a simple pendulum 2 pi into root over L divided by G, where L is length of the pendulum, G is acceleration due to gravity. From this it is cleared First point is whenever temperature is increases. When temperature increases, so except yesterday we discussed, except few metals, few materials like rubber, cast iron, okay, remaining all will expand with increasing the temperature. So when temperature increases, what happens to the length value? Increases. When length value increases, what happens to time period value? Increases. What is the meaning of time period? Time taken by the bob to complete one oscillation. The generally, if I take a second pendulum whose length is of, so how much a time period of 2 seconds, generally you know that, whose length is of 1 meter, the general seconds pendulum or general simple pendulum will make a 43,200 number of vibrations. How many? 43,200 number of vibrations per 1 day. You take a pendulum clock, in that pendulum clock per 1 day, it will make 43,200 number of vibrations at a normal room temperature. But whenever temperature increases, length value increase, which causes to increase the time period. Remember, here time is not increased, time period is increased. Time period means the bob will take more time to complete one oscillation. That means it will complete, the number of oscillations are less than 43,200. Due to that reason, there is a loss of time will be there. So pendulum clock will loses the time. The pendulum clock will show the time, so less than the actual time. When temperature increases, due to increase of temperature, what happens? Length value increase. Due to increase of length value, what happened to that? This is here capital T is not the temperature. Capital T for time period. So with increasing the temperature, length value increase, which causes to increase the time period, which causes to decrease the number of vibrations, which will causes to loss of time. Similarly, whenever temperature value decreases, that is also possibility is there. If you go for winter season, now soon we are getting winter. In that winter season, what happens? Temperature value decrease. When temperature value decrease, obviously length will decrease. When length value decrease, what happens to time period? Decrease. When time period decrease, the bob will be more number of oscillations. So what it will do? More number of oscillations. It will do oscillations more than 43,200 number of vibrations. So due to that reason, there is a gain of time. So what is the meaning of gain of time? The watch will show more time, so it will run fastly than actual time. So two possibilities will occur due to the thermal expansion only. Now I want to calculate third point is what is the fractional change in time period. So fractional change in time period I want to calculate. So how can I calculate the fractional change in time period? With the temperature rise, fractional change in time period value I want to calculate. Here what is the relation for time period and length? T value directly proportional to root L. Root L means can I write L power 1 by 2. In error and approximation method, you study whenever x is equal to a power n, delta x by x is equal to formula. Can I write here? X is equal to a power n. What is the formula for delta x by x is equal to n into delta a by e? Correct? So this is the power rule. From this, by using that formula, can I write delta t by t is equal to how much can I write? 1 by 2 into delta L divided by L. But we know this. What is the formula for delta L? Delta L formula what? Delta L is equal to L into alpha into delta t. What is the name of delta L? So linear expansion. From this, what is delta L by L value is equal to alpha into delta t. When delta L by L value is equal to alpha into delta t, can I write here? So what is delta t by t can be written as 1 by 2 into alpha into delta t. Whenever a pendulum of coefficient of linear expansion alpha, when temperature rises is given by delta t, what is the fractional change in time period given by? So delta t by t value will be equal to 1 by 2 into alpha into delta t. What is the loss or gain of time? So per second. Loss or gain of time per second is given by 1 by 2 into alpha into delta t into capital T, where capital T is the per 1 second. If I take capital T 1 second, I will get, so loss or gain of time is given by the formula 1 by 2 into alpha into delta T. So what is the loss or gain of time per day if I want to calculate? 1 by 2 into alpha into delta T into how much? 86,400. Why I got 86,400 means per day, that is given by 24 hours into 60 into 60. You multiply this, you will get the answer is of 86,400. Clear na? This is the formula to calculate either loss or gain of time per 1 day. So that's why what we need to select while making this pendulum clock, yesterday we discussed, we will use inward steal. Why we will prefer inward steal only means its alpha value will be very low. Due to alpha value very low, so the change in length value with the temperature is very smaller, which can be negligible. So due to that is the reason. Okay na? So this concept is very important for any competitive exam, either for CET or NEET or JEE. So simple pendulum based on linear expansion is very important concept. Understood? Okay, this is regarding this simple pendulum. Now after this, so next point we will discuss regarding measuring tapes. So what we will discuss is another important point, that is point number 5. So which is of measuring tapes. Measuring tapes. Everyone know that, no? So measuring tapes, they are made up of some material. When yesterday we discussed, it should be also made up of inward tape. That measuring tapes, they will be calibrated. So readings will be there, na? They will be calibrated at a particular temperature. For example, if it is calibrated at a temperature T1 degrees Celsius. If you do measurement at T1 degrees Celsius, the measuring tape will give you correct reading. But so when temperature is increases to T2 degrees Celsius, because of increasing of temperature, so what happens? The calibration will be there, na? So they will move apart. The what happened to the tape? It will expand. When it will expand, then that time what happens? So calibrations will move apart from each other. Due to that reason, what is the measurement you did last time at a temperature T1? And what is the measurement you are doing at a temperature T2? Both are not same. There will be some error will be there in the measurement of length of the object by using this measuring tape. For example, at a temperature T2 degrees Celsius, the length value given by here. But what is the length you measured at a temperature T2? That will be less than, so actual length value. Why? Because here the readings are moved apart. Because of moving of readings apart, so what happens? The measuring tape is showing less reading than the actual reading. So that time we needed a correction. How much correction needed? So that increase in the length of the measuring tape. So that is given by, can I call delta C? Delta C or correction. Can I call? You can also call it as delta L also. Delta L is given by L into alpha into T2 minus T1. But remember, here I am discussing when T2 is greater than T1. If T2 value greater than T1, what will happen? If T2 value greater than T1, that time what happens? The measured length value is less than the actual length value. So what is the correction value given by? Delta L is equal to L into alpha into T2 minus T1, where L is the length which is measured at a temperature T2, alpha is the coefficient of linear expansion of this measuring tape. Then this is the formula. So this is the value of correction. The correction which has to be read. So then what is the actual length will become? The actual length of the object will be given by L plus delta L. Are you getting that? When this formula is applicable, the final temperature is more than initial temperature. So this is the case. Okay. And second case, sometimes, so if T2 value less than T1 means T2 value less than T1 means when temperature of the surroundings suddenly decrease. What happened to the measuring tape? so it will contrast. When it will contrast, the readings will come closer. That time what happens? So it will give so more reading than actual. That time what is the correction needed? The correction value see. The correction is given by, can I call it as delta L? Delta L is equal to L into capital L. L into alpha into T1 minus T2. T1 minus T2. So that time what is the actual length will become? The actual length, if the measured length value is L, correction is delta L, then the actual length is given by L minus delta L. Are you getting it? This is the case whenever the measuring tape is contrast. Okay? And third important point. So for example, the measuring tape having coefficient of linear expansion alpha s, and which is calibrated at a temperature T1 degrees Celsius. And what is the object you are measuring? One rod I take. I want to measure the length of the rod. The rod coefficient of linear expansion is alpha b. What does it mean is a rod given to you. So I told to you measure this rod by using one measuring tape. Okay na? Actually the rod and initially rod and tape are at a temperature T1 degrees Celsius. Suddenly what happened? Temperature rises to T2 degrees Celsius. That time, what is the reading of this measuring tape? So that temperature, the reading is given by, the reading of measuring tape is given by the formula. So if the rod initial length value is L into 1 plus alpha b minus alpha s into T2 minus T1. Actually this derivation, no need of it the derivation. So if the both the rod also expand, tape also expand. If the expansion of the rod is more compared with the tape, then the correct reading which can be measured by using this measuring tape is given by the formula. So L is the measured reading, then the correct reading is given by the formula. So L into 1 plus alpha b minus alpha s into T2 minus T. What is alpha b? Is the coefficient of linear expansion of that body, and alpha s is the coefficient of linear expansion of that scale. T1 is the initial temperature, T2 is the final temperature. Even this formula also, so very important. The correct reading which can be made by using this measuring tape is given by this. Okay now? Next. So these are the points which are related with this one, measuring tape. After completion of this, so next point we discuss is that is of bimetallic strip. Another important point here in thermal expansion is so bimetallic strip. Point number 6 na bimetallic strip. So what is this bimetallic strip? So here we take two rods of different length. Two rods of same length, but made up of different materials. So first rod of length, both of same length. First rod of coefficient of linear expansion alpha 1, and second rod of coefficient of linear expansion alpha 2. Both the rods made up of different materials, but of same length. Both are fixed together. Both are riveted together, fixed with each other. But remember, alpha 1 is not same. So such a arrangement is called as bimetallic strip. So what is the purpose with this bimetallic strip is? And this bimetallic strip, so whenever temperature is rises, so then what happens? It will bend like a arc. See this? Initially the two rods are like this. Whenever you bend, whenever you heated, means the metal whose alpha value will be more. So for example here alpha 1 is greater than alpha 2. So this is of alpha 1, this is alpha 2. Now how does this looking like a? It is looking like a arc, making an angle theta at the center. So what is the radius of this arc? Can I call that as capital R? So in this case, whose material, the material whose alpha value greater, that will bend towards the convex side. and whose alpha value is smaller, that will be towards the concave side. It will bend like a arc. Before initially it is like this. Okay, I will take the example of steel and brass. First material I have taken steel. One is made up of steel and other is of brass. Steel, brass, alpha 1. Let us suppose steel alpha. By using the steel and brass, I constructed one bimetallic strip. Bi means two. Metallic strip. Two metal strips are riveted together. Whenever the temperature is rises, the material with high alpha value will bend towards the convex side. Actually, brass alpha value more compared with steel. Whenever you rise the temperature, so what happens? Brass will be of this side, it will be towards the convex side, and this will be towards the concave side. Are you getting that? Now, after bending, the arrangement is looking like a one arc. The radius of that arc is given by r is equal to d divided by, so alpha 1 minus alpha 2 into delta 2. This formula is very important for us, where d is the thickness of the metal strip, bimetallic strip. So it is the thickness of bimetallic strip. Bimetallic strip thickness is given by this, and you know alpha 1 and alpha 2, and delta t is the rising temperature of that bimetallic strip, and capital R is the radius of arc. After bending, the radius of arc is given by capital R. Clear? And one more important point is, so whenever the temperature is decreases, that time what happens? If T2 value greater than T1, final temperature is smaller than the initial temperature. That time the metal with the more alpha value will be towards the concave side. Even PV questions also asking based on this bimetallic strip. So whenever a temperature, final temperature is more than initial temperature, the material with high alpha value will be of convex side. Whenever final temperature is smaller than the initial temperature, the material with high alpha value will be of towards the concave side. Every time don't think that the brass will be of convex side. That is whether towards the convex or concave, that is decided by final temperature. Okay now, so even whenever alpha value more means not only expansion more but also contraction also more. What does it mean is alpha more means the material will respond more for change in temperature, both either increase or decrease. So this is for which one? Bimetallic strip. Generally, one of the application of this bimetallic strip, it is used in thermometers. For measurement of temperatures, we will use these thermometers. And also you can see electric iron boxes. Whenever electric iron boxes, whenever they heated to sufficient high temperature, automatically they will be switched off. How it is possible means there they will use one bimetallic strip like this. When initially both are strained, circuit will be closed circuit. So current will pass. Whenever the temperature is rise, now this rod will bend like a arc. That time what happens? Circuit will be disconnected. The current supply will going to be stopped. So in this way you can use the bimetallic strip. In this bimetallic strip, single formula you have to remember. What is the radius of this strip? That radius is given by this. So R value is equal to d divided by alpha 2 minus alpha 1 into delta. Understood? So this is the concept of which one? Bimetallic strip. After completion of this, so next one is last two more points. So what is that is? First point is, now that is point number 6. And this point number 6, so what is thermal stress? Thermal stress. So let me consider one rod. The rod is fixed between the two rigid support, two rigid walls, not allowing the rod to expand. We are not allowing the rod to expand. Now what we did is, temperature of the rod is increases to delta T. Obviously when temperature increases means rod will try to expand, but wall will not allow to expand. That time what happens? Rod will exert some force, wall will exert some force on the rod to prevent the that expansion. Due to that reason, some tension will develop in the rod. That tension is called as that stress. That force acting per unit length is called as thermal stress. How much stress? Stress is nothing but force per area. Here force is acting because of whenever the rod will try to expand. That force acting per unit area is called as thermal stress. So what is Young's modulus of the rod given by the formula? Young's modulus is equal to longitudinal stress divided by longitudinal strain. F by A by delta L by L. From this, delta L by L value is equal to F by A into Y. This is the increase of length due to applied force. So for a body to either elongate or compress, we need to apply some external force. That external force will make the rod to either elongate or compress. So here force acting is F, area of cross section of the rod is A, and Young's modulus of the material is Y. You know that now? I consider one rod. If I want to elongate this rod, what I need to apply? Force is needed to apply. If I want to compress the rod, what I need to apply? Force is needed to apply. That force acting per unit area only called as, so that is stress. Stress is of three types Young's model, that is, so longitudinal stress, shearing stress and volume stress. Strain also three types. Modulus of elasticity will be of three types. Young's modulus, bulk modulus, rigidity modulus. So Young's modulus is the ratio of longitudinal stress by longitudinal strain. Then delta L by L value is equal to F by A into Y. But yesterday class we have seen, because of the change in temperature, what is the change in length value given by delta L is equal to L into alpha into delta T. From this, delta L by L is equal to alpha into delta T. This is the change in length due to applied force. This is the change in length due to change in temperature. Due to the temperature, the rod change in length is given by this. By applying force, the wall is opposing the change in length of the rod. When both are equal, this change in length, both are equal, rod neither expand nor compress. So that time what can I write the condition? F divided by A into Y will be equal to alpha into delta T. From this, F by A will be equal to, so alpha into Y into delta T. This F by A is called as thermal stress. What is the name? Thermal stress is equal to Y into alpha into delta T. This thermal stress value does not depend upon area of cross section, and it does not depend upon length also. So this is called as thermal stress. If I want to calculate the thermal force, so what is thermal force? So there thermal force is equal to area into thermal stress. Area into which stress? Thermal stress will gives us thermal force. So what is the thermal stress given by what I get? Y into A into alpha into delta T. So this is the formula for thermal force. Thermal force value depends upon area of cross section, but thermal force value not depends upon length. Whereas the thermal stress value neither depends upon length nor area of cross section. So these are the points here which are related with the thermal stress. When thermal stress will develop. Clear? Okay now? So then last point about this thermal expansion of solids. So under this note, that is point number 7. Yesterday we written what is the increase in the length formula? Delta L is equal to L into alpha into delta T. What is the fractional increase in the length given by delta L by L is equal to alpha into delta T? What is the percentage of increase in the length given by delta L by L is equal to alpha into delta T into 100? Why I multiplied with 100 to calculate fractional change in length? Similarly, what is the fractional change in area given by? So fractional change in area given by beta into delta T into 100. What is the fractional change in volume given by? So that is delta V by V will be equal to gamma into delta T into 100. So these are the formulas to calculate fractional change in length value, fractional change in area value, and fractional change in volume value. But remember, fractional change in length value or area value or volume value does not depends upon initial length. So on what factors they depends? They depends upon the nature of the material, and also they depends upon rise of temperature. Are you clear now? So these are the formulas to calculate fractional change in length or area or volume. So these are the concepts for thermal expansion of solids. As per our syllabus concern point of view, liquids or gases are not there in our material. So up to solids are there. We completed the concept of thermal expansion of solids. So in the next, from tomorrow onwards, we will do the numericals based on this thermal expansion of solids. Level 2 questions. Okay now? So go through concepts clearly. Once concept is understood means, so question can be solved easily. So there are someone I am getting the question in group that though we discuss the concept, same model will solve in class also, but again repeating the same question. They asking, sir, how to solve this question? What does it mean is, they are not following the concept or they are not listening the class. So each and every point is important, I am telling you. And what are the questions are leaving? That all questions you need to solve separately in one book. So after completion, when you will come to college, that time everyone should submit. So your work, every level I am telling you, level 1, level 2, level 3. So class work also there, homework also there. Conceptual questions also you needed to complete, especially level 2 and level 3. I am discussing class work, 50% questions. Leaving 50 questions, 50% questions of class work. You have to complete that 50% questions of class work and remaining 100% questions of homework. Okay now? So thank you.